Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
I have lost millions of dollars because of this, and I bet you have too. And the reason we've lost it is because we never go after the actual millions. We go after the dollars. And we're going after the dollars because we don't have the focus and clarity that we need to achieve millions. It is the common denominator between most entrepreneurs that only sit around a high-paying job and never turn into business owners. It's the common denominator of those W-2 employees that never move up the ladder to a higher pay scale. It's because we all get distracted too easily by the next best thing. And the reason we get distracted by the next best thing is because we get bored with the resistance that we're trying to push through. And I'm going to say that again. We get bored with the resistance that we're trying to push through. When I was in my disaster cleanup company, moving from technician solo in the service van, going out and doing the cleanings, and then began to build a team, I had to put in standard operations and processes. I had to put in key performance indicators so that the people I hired knew what to do and what I expected of them, which was my key performance indicators. The problem is this took a lot of brain power from me, a lot of discipline, because it wasn't in the area of my life that gave me energy. I'm more of a thinker, a wonderer about, why are we doing this? What could we do to make this better? Is there a better way? And then more of this is what we could do, and this is a great idea, so let's go after it. But when it came to the actual implementation of ideas, especially documenting a process of how an idea would flow, that was not my strength in my personality. And therefore, I got distracted very easily by other opportunities because I wasn't disciplined and focused enough. Or I just didn't leverage someone else's talent in that area. Because if I had to do over again, I would have just went and hired someone or contracted someone to come in and follow me with a notepad as I did my services. And this would get documented into a document and a video file so that I could train better and have processes so that others could follow. Therefore, my customer would get consistent results no matter who was showing up for my company. So focus is the reason that we are not achieving millions, because we get diverted off of the path of success because we hit some resistance. We think the grass is greener on the other side. So I want to break down of how you cannot get diverted off your path of success, and you can tackle those important drivers that are going to help you hit success, your goals, much quicker and more accurately. So you need to start with getting clarity on what you want. Where do you want to be a year from now? Where do you want to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, and 12 months from now? Break it down into boxes. So if I said that I want to have $1 million in net profits at the end of the year, and I've got a 20% profit margin on my business, then I know that I have got to be at a $5 million revenue company, because $5 million in revenue at a 20% profit margin, net profits, would give me $1 million in net profits. Now I've got to discover how many jobs is going to take me to hit that 5 million revenue mark. How many individuals will it take to service those amount of jobs? I start working everything back from the point that I want to be. So you've got to clarify where your goal is, what that goal is. And then you start stacking numbers because numbers do not lie. And you pull these numbers from data. If you've got historical data, then you're going to look at, see how many jobs can we process in a week? How many these type of jobs can we process this in this many hours? And how much manpower did it take to produce the results for an invoice on that particular job? So you start working your numbers backwards. And then once you've defined what needs to take place, you begin to put down those milestones, those, we'll call them rocks, based off of the EOS system, the entrepreneurial operating system. A good book for you to read would be Traction if you own a business or you're looking to get into business, because they have structured a business, a small business, into a model that is very efficient and allows you to lead your vision so that it's executed. So if you will take these things, let's say that to hit $5 million, I've got to have 4 teams in my restoration company to be able to achieve $5 million of revenue. And a team is 3 people. So 3 times 4 is going to put me at 12 field technicians that I'm going to need. Now, what happens when I begin to expand my labor force? I'm going to have to either hire highly trained individuals in, which is very difficult, or I'm going to have to hire core value individuals that match our core values, and then I'm going to have to train them up. So that means I'm going to have a great training program. Like, how do we onboard these new hires so that they get experience, they get classroom training, field training, and then we can test to see that they're progressing in the manner that they need to. And we also can identify holes in their education so that we can make sure we address those so that they are not incompetent in the field when they're doing work. So this would be something that's on my list of to-dos. Training program. How would we structure that? So that's something I would have to brainstorm. So I've got this list. We're going to call it a list of to-dos, aka rocks. So that would be something I'm going to list, training program. The next thing I'm going to list, since I don't maybe have 4 teams, I've only got 2 teams, I'm going to write down recruiting, hiring 6 new employees for technicians. That's another to-do list item. And so if you see, as you know what your goals are and you can backtrack to see what it's going to take to hit those goals, then you're going to know what you're going to have to do to put in place so that you can achieve your vision for that year, for that 3 months, for that 6 months. So now what we're doing is we're building stair steps to get us where we need to go. And if we put it in the stair steps instead of looking at it like a mountain, we're less likely to flee from the resistance that we're going to encounter during our process of achieving our goal. Because when I used to look back, I would look and say, I want a company that has processes and procedures and has accountability that they have to live up to, and they have leaders to help them hold each other accountable. And it looked like a massive mountain for me to achieve. But if I would have broke it down and I just would have said the processes of how we do this, let me recruit this person over here to follow me for the next week and write down and video the different processes, and then they can upload it. Then let me look at those documentations and see what is important to make sure that we have the things that are important to us as a company, which would have been quality service, good brand in the marketplace, consistent service, a core value met technician that is going to represent us in a professional manner. These little drivers, if I would have sat here and had these little to-do lists, so to-dos would have been SOPs, to-dos, and under SOPs, it would have had, document it in a Word format, document it in a video format. document it in a picture format. Then on the KPIs, it would have been identify the drivers that we want this position to hit. Then on hiring side, it would have been, what is the next person to hire? So what is it a technician? Is it a management position? What are they going to need as tools to be able to achieve their job? So you see how you can start to make this to-do list, and you're not trying to prioritize this yet. So list these to-dos, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pull back and say, what is the first step out of all of these to-dos? Like, I don't need to go hire a new management personnel before I hire my technicians. Or maybe I do need to hire my management personnel before I hire my technicians. Or do I need to go buy my tools and service vehicle before I hire the technicians? See, these are questions that you're going to ask yourself, and then you're going to list the most important one that has to take place first before you can move on to the next step. I want you to visualize a staircase in this process, because you have to step on the first step before you can step onto the second step. Otherwise, you're going to miss a step and bust your shins and fall down the stairs, and you're going to be extremely disappointed, and it's going to be painful. And this is an analogy to how it feels like in real life when you're trying to achieve your goals. We're trying to jump too many steps because we don't have clarity what the first step is. And finding where you're trying to go, and then all of the elements off of numbers, what it's going to take you to get there. Now you can start to do to-do list, to-do task, and then you can prioritize those to-do tasks. This is how you build the channel, the path for you to achieve your goals. And this is how you create millions. This is how you don't get distracted from your original quest because you felt overwhelmed when you looked at the mountain. Instead, you looked at one individual step at a time as you climb the staircase. If you're interested in more information on how to buy a business, how to scale a business, how to fund a business, how to negotiate a business, how to sell a business so that you can walk away from an asset that has created cash flow with a massive lift financially, then I want you to plug into Blue Collar Millionaire Facebook group. This is where me and Kevin Marin sit here and interview successful entrepreneurs, business owners that give their tips, their tricks, their strategies that's allowed them to have massive success in creating wealth through their business. And then we also have a private mentorship group that we as well have a coach, which is Mark Evans, DM. And us three do a weekly call with those members. This is a paid-for group, but we focus strategically on purchasing cash flowing businesses that are going to just tremendously change your family tree in the aspect of its finances. And we teach you how to add value so that you can scale it up and you can take it to the market and sell it for millions. So until next time, I want you to live in success. I hope you received something from this. And if you did, please hop on, give me a 5-star review, and write something in the comments so that I understand why you liked it or why you disliked it or what you would like to hear. Until next time, let's grow together.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.